Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. It has finished Arsenal 0, Tottenham 3 at the White Hart Lane. And it's one of those games where I'm going to say I'm happy that I was right about how we should have set up. We didn't set up in that way. And we almost got blown away from Arteta's service. It's one game that I think Arsenal will regret a lot, and Mikel Arteta, if we do not get to the UEFA Champions League because of the approach that we actually took in this game. Now, look, there's so many things to talk about. I've been following up on many Arsenal reactions. Some people blaming Mikel Arteta, others defending him. Some people blaming Rob Holding, and a couple of other things. But for me, I think the big point and the starting point in this game was, did we try to play like we were fighting for something? And I didn't see that right from minute one. I didn't see that. It was very, very casual. And the plan that we were trying to execute in that game, I didn't see it. I mean, we are going to talk about Paul Tierney and the refereeing, but look, actually, I think the first thing we need to talk about is that red card, because it changes the whole dimension of the game, the red card and the penalty. Cedric and Rob Holding struggled throughout the game against Heung-min Son. And I remember I said this, that the threat at Tottenham is Ken, Son, and Dejan Kulusevski. You had to stop them. That was the first. That should have been the first assignment we had to do on that pitch. I mean, no one cared. No one would care if Arsenal went out with a point. Out of that game, a point would have been massively important. So the first job was to stop Kulusevski, Ken, and Heung-min Son, and we absolutely terribly failed at that. And that is why you have that scoreline. And that's why it should have been 4. It could have been 5-0. It could have been 6-0. Spurs will have themselves to blame for not making it probably 8 or 9 or 10. It should have been more than that. But all the teams, and I used that example of Brentford and Brighton, all the teams that have taken points away from Tottenham Hotspur and they are not better than them quality-wise, you sit in a low block, you sit in a good shape, you sit in a good structure, and you try to play up, to play them on the break, or you try to play them when you get your time, when you get your spell, because Spurs is a team that will give you a couple of spells. And when even when we were down to 10 men, you could see Arsenal did get some spells, but we didn't try to do that. We played as if we were at the Emirates Stadium. We played as if this were a game where there was nothing to lose. There was a lot to lose in this game, and Spurs definitely, they knew that. When you look at how they played, beginning of the game, Arsenal started the game at a very, very high tempo, and we were dominating. And you can see the way they were defending. You can see the discipline. You can see how organized they were. They made it clear that despite the fact that we're not having the ball, despite the fact that Arsenal are in this spell, we do not concede, no matter what. And they didn't concede. And shortly after that, they start piling pressure on us. Not even much pressure, because what I don't understand is Rob Holding in the first place. Before I talk about Paul Tierney, the referee, what is Rob Holding doing 3 times? You're doing the same mistake against the same player in areas where you think it is not called for. Absolutely, because look, he's holding Heung-min Son, as if it's a wrestling match. That was a game of football, and that is why I've always disagreed 100% with these fringe players. I love Arsenal and I love all the players because they play for Arsenal, but the quality of some of these men just freaks me out. Because look, yes, I understand Rob Holding was having a very, very difficult time with Heung-min Son and Cedric Soares as well. Actually, I think Son had the most comfortable of evenings, against Cedric and Rob Holding, because they played into his hands. The plan is you have to track him back, up up until the halfway line, right? So that you don't give him that that time to pick up the ball in deeper areas. But when you track him to the to the halfway line, you don't commit those silly fouls because he's far away. You've tracked the danger far away from home. And if you look at if you look at the first yellow card, actually I think Rob Holding, if I were referee, I could have sent him earlier than Paul Tierney did, because those are really ridiculous, stupid mistakes you don't do. Like he's holding Son. What for? He's holding Son at the center, at the center line, and Son is down and he's still holding him. Give him a yellow card. Give him a straight red card. Call it an evening. He was not. Some of these players, honestly, are not fit to be in the Arsenal budget. I'm grateful they've brought us thus far. They could take us to the UEFA Champions League, but I'm scared. I'm absolutely scared that you go to the Champions League and you play against a Bayern side, because Bayern are deadly. They could have the ball and they could score 10. They could score 10 without the ball. There are players that can run in behind. There's so many threatening players in the Premier League, in the Champions League. You take that quality, you take that, because look, not so many players are really going to change in this team. There are not so many that are going to change in this team. So you take that quality of players in the Champions League. Trust me, you're gonna get out of the group, and you will not even see Europa League, and you'll have conceded more than 100 goals in 6 games. You cannot. I've not seen a ridiculous, because Rob Holding has been on a very, very good run, and I don't blame Mikel Arteta for playing him. I don't blame him. What does he do? What does he do against Heung-min Son? That is ridiculous. You can't do that. You don't do that. The second foul, the foul where he walks off, is one that I don't understand. The ball is played over the top. Aaron Ramsdale has 100% chances of getting there first. Rob Holding, all he has to do is to run faster than Son, and he's in front of Son. I don't understand. You're on a yellow card. You've just received it. Why the hell are you why are you trying to block him with a hand in his face? I didn't understand that. And many of you are gonna call out Paul Tierney, but he didn't do anything wrong. Look, that is a penalty. Cedric Soares. He's never been any of my favorite players anyway. But Cedric Soares, lads, what is he doing? Someone talk to me in the comment section. What is Cedric Soares doing there? He has 0 chances. Look, he's standing standing where I'm sitting, and Heung-min Son is at the microphone, and then he pushes him. I don't understand. I don't understand what Cedric Soares is trying to achieve by doing that. It's a penalty. It's set up, all day long. It's a penalty. I think many Aston fans are just disappointed, and they didn't expect probably the referee to see that. But that's a penalty. You're not even challenging for the ball. You're not even in the air. You're just pushing a player in a game where a point is vital. Oh, that is all we wanted. We wanted to play a game where you walk away with the point and just walk away. So for me, lads, the goals we've conceded, 100% true, and I don't see any mistake in Paul Tierney's refrain. I don't see it. Right? Let's stop finding reasons. If we want to be at the best, if we want to be the best team in the world, if we want to go back to the levels where we are, we've got to start. We need to start making those appraisers start with ourselves. And today we were absolutely shit. Now let's get to Mikel Arteta and the way we say it out. If you remember my preview, I did it yesterday, and I said, if you want to play Spurs and beat Spurs, there are 2 things. You either make sure that when you hold the ball and you're going to play, you're going to dominate them, it is total dominance. That is 1. 2, if you don't do that, then you have to make sure that you sit in a decent shape, probably 5-4-1, or whatever, or 5-3-3, as long as you're in a good shape. Right? You cannot afford all that room for them to run in behind. But look at what we were doing. And many people said, Cossy, you're so defensive yesterday. Yes, I was defensive because I know how to stop such teams. I know how to stop a team that only depends on their front 3. The danger in this game has been Son, Ken, and Kulusevski, and the stupidity that we've done is we provided room for them to run into. You don't do that with Spurs. You don't give them the time on the ball. You don't give them that space to run in behind. We played against Liverpool. Liverpool play almost in a similar manner. If you allow Mane, Diaz, and Salah space to run into in behind your defense, you cannot survive. And we did very well against Liverpool, and we did very well against Man City. This is so similar to Spurs. The difference is that Spurs do not have the quality of players to register moments of utter dominance and total dominance through the midfield, which is actually an advantage. But we didn't actually do that. I don't know what we tried. Look, I don't know what our game plan was. Look, maybe it was go out there and show them that you are a good team, probably better than them, and show them why why we are in the top 4. The lineup does not have a problem. Whether Mikel played a back 4 or a back 5, I don't want to blame him. I absolutely don't want to blame him, right? Because look, Ben White doesn't come on, probably it's because of fitness issues. So Mikel is afraid that if he brings him back, then it could create a problem. So I understand that. But my problem here is why didn't we have any strategy to stop that front three? Harry Kane is tapping home and is being tracked by Eddie Nketiah. And Nketiah is standing, and look, Nketiah can never, track Harry Kane. And the reason that's why I wanted to play a back 3, and if you still remember that my reaction was, I wanted Arsenal to go out there and at least have a player assigned to each of Kulusevski, Son, and Ken. That was my idea of playing a back 5. For example, you would have Kulusevski being tracked by Tomiyasu. You'd have Gabriel. Tracking Harry Kane, and probably you'd have Holding tracking Son, right? But then we know that those players and their quality is so much as compared to the players that are tracking them. So what you do is you add an extra player in defense. You just add an extra player to help Tomiyasu out, to help Gabriel out, and to help Rob Holding out. Rob Holding today has been absolutely demolished by Son, and the truth is that when I look at it, was he receiving any support really? Was he receiving any support really? He wasn't. He was battling Son alone, and for me, you don't survive that. You don't. That's the truth. You don't survive that. Look, we could look for all the excuses in the world. We were not good enough. So we are. I mean, when Arsenal are not good enough, it's always the referee. It's always what? It's always the manager. I won't blame the manager today. Or really, I won't blame the manager today. But I think again, it doesn't walk away cleanly. Yeah, it doesn't walk away cleanly. I mean, you need to stop Spurs, and you need to stop that front three. Mikel failed at that. Whoever feels otherwise, look, bring it on. But for me, I think we should have done better. We should have done better in that regard. And then maybe the other thing that I saw in this game was, I think Arsenal are not ready. We are really not ready for the UEFA Champions League. And I'm excited that we might go back there after a long time. But Vinay Venkatesham, Arsenal chairman, made a very, very interesting remark, and he said we have overachieved this season. And by saying that we have overachieved, it means that, I mean, you've got to ask yourself, does that mean that we have gone too soon, we have gone too early? I don't know, but that is not a Champions League performance. And I said that in the preview that you've got to treat this game as a Champions League game, and we didn't try to do that. That is not how you treat a Champions League game. That is not even so anywhere near. Even if it was Benfica and we were in the Champions League, we would have lost that game. If it's a game of look, because in the Champions League, You're going to play as many games that are similar to that, like it's a final, and you need to have a strategy in place. You need to have you need to have a plan in place. You don't just throw 11 players onto the pitch and try to tell them go and win just like you did against Leeds. You don't do that. So look, if that was a Champions League game, even if it would have been against probably Midtjylland or Olympiacos, we would have lost that game. There was no plan. Right? When we tried to suffocate Spurs, we didn't do it enough. We didn't do it well. We were not committing. And when Spurs were suffocating us, and we were trying to, kind of play on the break, we also didn't do that. Like I don't know. Were we caught by the pressure? Probably. I don't know. But that was bad. That was really, really bad. That was bad. I just feel that has taken away a lot. That has really taken away a lot of our confidence. I even don't know if you go on Monday against Newcastle and you win that game. I don't know. I'm not sure that you go against Newcastle and you win that game. It's a difficult game. Trust me, it's a tough game. And it's even gonna be tougher because Spurs will be ahead of us by 2 points because they play earlier. So I want us to go back to the Champions League because it would attract the best players in the world to our team. At least we'll stand a chance in the market. But it's now harder. Yeah, it's now harder. I don't think Newcastle are any worse than Spurs. You give them that kind of room. The likes of Joe Linton, they're gonna tear you apart. I've seen Everton. They don't have the quality, but they have the spirit. And best the fact that it will be the last game in the season. Newcastle have nothing to play for really, but Everton do. And on the last day of the season, Spurs will be playing Norwich City, who have nothing. I think they could just send the points, who have nothing in the bank to stop Spurs. So the only shot Arsenal have is hoping that Spurs do not beat. Is it Watford? Right? Burnley. Sorry. That Spurs do not beat Burnley. Burnley are still struggling to keep to stay up out of the relegation. So if maybe that, right? It may be that, but I don't see it happen. Honestly, lads, look, I'm about to say that this top four race is over. I'm about to say it's going to be over because Newcastle, Spurs, do we get max? Newcastle, Everton, can we get maximum points? Yeah, we can. Are we going to get them? I'm scared. Gabriel Magalhaes is injured now. Ben White. You know what surprised me with Mikel is that he chose not to play Nuno Tavares as a wing back, but then when we got an injury, he played him. He brought him on for Gabriel Magalhaes. No blame. I wouldn't play Nuno. I wouldn't play Nuno as well. No one would play Nuno. No one would play Nuno in that game, especially against Kulusevski and Son. No one would play him. But my idea was a back five. Should I play the back five? Do it ugly. Right? Don't try to impress anyone. Do it ugly. Just do it ugly. Just get the win. Just get those three. Just get that 1 point or 3 points. Do it ugly. But when you spread yourself like that, it doesn't really work out. Does it work like that? I've seen this. Cedric was playing so high up the pitch. And you know why I hate Cedric? Let me tell you something. Rob Holding really screwed us up today. But you know why I hate Cedric Soares? It's because he's one of those players that really look like they're doing a lot, but they're doing a lot of shit. They're doing a lot of shit for me. And that's why I hate him. That's why I hate him 100%. He goes up the pitch and brings in those crosses that always don't count, result into anything. And then to some point you feel he's done a lot of work, because I mean, at the end you're going to look at 16 crosses, 8 crosses in per 90, but the truth is that those crosses have no chance of landing onto a center forward. No ever. No one. So look, I think Cedric was the worst player on the pitch, honestly. He was the worst player on the pitch. He had to help out on he had to help out Rob Holding on Son. That's how you stop Son. Because Rob Holding for me did very well, trying to stop Heung-min Son high up the pitch, but then Cedric was doing nothing. But anyway, look, guys, I mean, that's it. See you. Speak to you tomorrow, probably.